Hi, my name is Ross Wenner. I'm Executive Director of World Leadership School. Our mission is to empower young leaders to find new and innovative solutions to the world's pressing problems. I want to welcome you and say we're thrilled that you're participating in a World Leadership School program. The purpose of this video is to help you prepare and get you thinking about some things that will make the experience more meaningful for you. Before I proceed, let me talk a little bit about the world as we see it, the world from which World Leadership School has grown. There is a lot of bad news on one hand, and there's also a lot of really good news. I think that you live at the intersection of a massive crisis in global history, and I think it's probably one of the most exciting times in world history to live. Let me tell you a little bit about the bad news. The bad news is that there is a set of critical global issues. I'm talking about issues like lack of access to basic education, climate change, poverty, water scarcity, biodiversity loss, and spread of infectious disease. We already know about these issues. We know about malaria in Africa. We know about changes in climate patterns. We know about poverty and substandard education. The worst part about these issues is that they're likely to get worse as global population climbs from above 6 billion, which is where we are now, to somewhere between 9 and as high as 14 billion by 2050. Unfortunately, population growth is something that we can't really control. Another piece of this problem is that the large international organizations that are supposed to be working on these problems, and I'm talking about organizations like United Nations, World Health Organization, International Monetary Fund, are flatlining. They are not able to deal with these issues. As the issues get worse, their ability to deal with them essentially remains flat. Let me talk about the good news, because there is a lot of good news. When I graduated from college 20 years ago, I went down to South America to work as a reporter. At that time, you would not believe what South America looked like. The entire continent was a dictatorship. Every single country was ruled by a dictator, and people had very, very few human rights. Fast forward 20 years, that's all changed. Almost all of the nations in South America, except for a few bad apples, are now democratic. They have free press, and people enjoy human rights. Another huge progress has been that their economies have become integrated. At the same time, there's this incredible thing called the internet, which is now spreading across the entire world. When I went to rural Kenya 3 years ago, I started working with Shampole, which is one of the communities. We had a hard time making a cell phone call. 3 years later, we are now able to run Skype video on internet via a cell phone connection. This rise of internet has enabled us to do all kinds of new things with our schools.
Hi, I'm Erin Lasky, the Program Director for World Leadership School. World Leadership School has real students working on the ground on real global issues. We do this by having long-term partnerships with schools in the United States that really want a sustainable relationship with our communities abroad. World Leadership School doesn't come in with our own ideas on what the community needs, but we partner with the community and the leaders on the ground to help them accomplish their goals, whether it's building a bathroom in a schoolhouse in Costa Rica or building a dining hall in Kenya. We need the ideas to really come from the community so that it's more of a partnership rather than a one-way relationship. By establishing long-term relationships with not only our partner schools, but the communities abroad, we're not only able to take on larger and more powerful service projects, but we're also able to start changing the way that we view ourselves in terms of community development work, as well as the communities that we work with and how they view us. They're able to see us more as a partner in this endeavor rather than an outside person coming in and telling them what to do. We've been able to complete some really great service projects in the last few years. In Kenya, we were able to build a 3,000 square foot dining hall, a live fence, renovating classrooms. A lot of these communities in the countries we work in are used to tourists coming and doing service work there for a couple days and then going on a safari. But our schools come back year after year and establish family-like relationships with our communities. The students know this homestay families that they'll be staying with because past students have stayed with them. They know about the service projects and what those schools have done in the past. And the community is excited to see them. And so they view us more as a partner in this rather than somebody coming on the outside and just doing a quick spring break trip. Our unique community development approach also allows us to really change the way we view ourselves in community development. We're not just going into a community that we've never met before and painting a building and walking away feeling like we've done something or we've helped somebody. But we're really working with community leaders on the ground. We have local participants helping on the service projects every day. And we're working on a project with them. We're not doing something for them and we're not helping them. We're learning from them and working with them.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Klein. I'm the Director of Global Partnerships for World Leadership School. My experience as an educator has been that international travel is one of the most transformative experiences that young people can have. It impacts very intensely their sense of the world and their sense of themselves in that world. But one of the biggest challenges, I think, for most students when they travel is how to come back from an experience like that and where to take it from travel back into their lives. I know that for me, the first few really formative or transformative travel experiences I had early in my life left me frustrated more than anything else. Coming back into my old life and my old world amid people who didn't necessarily understand what I had gone through was a very, very challenging experience to have. And that's definitely true for most students who go on World Leadership School trips. If they allow the trip to really impact them, their thinking, their personalities, their perceptions of the world, then it can be a very, very difficult experience. One of the goals at World Leadership School is to make sure that students find some direction. We spend a lot of our time working on not only understanding the students' leadership styles, but also understanding how they want to create change in the world, what the things are that they care about and are passionate about, and the role that they imagine themselves playing in world development and improving the world for people. I think especially once you've seen the world with a human face and you've really met people who are experiencing global problems, those global problems become much more real than they were before. So a lot of the work of World Leadership School is designed to continue the relationships beyond the trip and to make sure that students do in fact have an avenue, an outlet, and some direction for the feelings they come home with, that they're given the support to really help educate their own communities, help to create new programs connected to what they experience there, and that they really are able to be part of shifting their school culture so that each group that goes abroad comes back to a more receptive environment where they are really seen as leaders because they went on this trip and they're really in a position to create change. I think more than anything else, teachers and leaders and instructors connected to World Leadership School have an opportunity to decide whether students walk away from these experiences frustrated and stuck in terms of what a mess the world is, or whether they're able to move past the barriers of complexity that exist in global problems and really start to find solutions and to find their place, their role in building those solutions.
I believe very strongly that our young people that are leaving high school and going into university now, can and will solve these global issues. Our goal as an organization is to help support this process, to help schools build truly innovative and groundbreaking programs that will help students prepare for working on these global issues. On our programs, our whole goal is to expose you to these issues, help you understand them, and put you to work. At the same time, we have a leadership curriculum that empowers you to think as a leader. We spend a lot of time studying local leaders on the ground, and our theory is that some of these local leaders are incredible examples of leadership in a very volatile and complex global setting. You will learn a lot from these leaders. At the end of your program, we're going to ask you to describe what your best leadership style looks like. How are you going to lead from your strengths? How will you compensate for your weaknesses? And what are some leadership goals you have? So where is there hope? I find hope in the young people that we work with every year. I fully believe that your generation of young people can and will solve these critical global issues. We take as our role models our incredible leaders in our communities. Let's take Bertin Mans, our country coordinator in Haiti. Bertin is working to protect his entire village of La Fonte from cholera. Let's take Shani, our Kenya coordinator. Shani is helping run an entire school for over 200 girls and boys in his community in a very rural part of Africa with an incredibly small school budget. These examples of amazing leadership exist in all of our communities. We also know about these leaders through the books that we read. Books like Mountains Beyond Mountains about Wolf Farmer, who invented a very innovative system of rural health care. 3 Cups of Tea by Greg Mortensen, who's developed a model for building schools in some of the most rural and dangerous parts of the world. Jacqueline Novogratz, who has developed a venture capital mechanism for funding social entrepreneurs. The list goes on. I think that these social entrepreneurs who are able to achieve a very big picture understanding of a problem, who are able to leverage the tremendous community networks they have, and who lead from a sense of purpose and passion and humility. I think these social entrepreneurs represent the future, and I think they represent the solution. And these are exactly the sort of leaders that we strive to build at World Leadership School.